All right, next up, we've got one of the most difficult games on the college football card this week because I just don't have a good opinion on it one way or the other. UNLV and Fresno State. We've got Fresno State 31.5-point home favorites, 58.5 the total. You know, Handicapping 101 says this ain't the spot to lay 31.5 with Fresno State, not after their win of the season for them. Incredible performance by Jake Haener, the Washington transfer quarterback. He wasn't just good. He was brilliant. He was outstanding for the Fresno State Bulldogs Saturday night in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena against UCLA. I mean, I thought for sure, because that game was back and forth, both teams, exchanging haymakers. DTR, drove UCLA down and scored some points. And then Fresno kept answering back. And then when UCLA finally took the lead with like just under a minute to go, I'm like, well, that's finally it. UCLA is going to survive. And yet Haener, with a banged up, busted up hip and all as well, because he was going through some kind of hip issue going toward the end of that game, gutted it out, still led Fresno down the field in the final minute, punched it in for just an incredible win, incredible football game, great game to watch, great game for me from a betting standpoint. I was on the underdog Fresno State side and the over in that game. Both of those came through, so I enjoyed that game both ways, not only as a viewer, but as a bettor. But one thing after a win like that for Fresno, and let's give Caleb DeBoer a lot of credit, this guy, for the new young head coach of Fresno. He's done a good job here. This is a much improved Fresno team. We kind of thought they'd be coming into the year. Ronnie Rivers, an outstanding running back, great weapons at receiver. The quarterback was already pretty decent last year. Oh, he's improved tenfold this year. He's a very good quarterback now, Jake Haener for Fresno. But man, G. Martinez in the chat is thinking what I'm thinking. Letdown City. It's just got that feel. Short week, Friday night, hosting lowly, pathetic UNLV. Now, I'm not laying 31.5 here with Fresno. No way, no how. It's just not the right spot to do it. But is UNLV good enough to take advantage of it? I don't know if they are. They're that bad, UNLV. So this is one of those clear stay-off games for me. I'm not going to be involved in it. I can't make a strong case to lay this much with Fresno. They certainly are capable of winning this game by 35 plus, but given what just happened, a huge win at UCLA, a Bruins team that was playing very good football before that game. Let's not forget what they did against LSU, UCLA, and Fresno goes in there and beats them. I don't trust Fresno necessarily in this spot. They are capable in terms of matchups, personnel on the field, to be more than 31.5 points better at home than UNLV. That's certainly, if they're focused and they come ready to play, they could still cover, but I don't trust them to be. And at the same point in time, there's no way I'm putting a UNLV ticket in my pocket right now. Not after what I saw last week against Iowa State. That was an Iowa State home game. That's shameful. That's embarrassing. Putting UNLV in that Allegiant Stadium. I mean, it was a sea of red for the Cyclones in that game last Saturday night. And they're playing so bad, it's at the point where, you know what, you don't deserve this big, beautiful, gaudy new stadium. Evict them, send their asses out of there, and make them play at Sam Boyd or make them play somewhere else. They're not worthy of that stadium, UNLV football, and Arroyo, and what a disastrous hire once again it's looking like with him for UNLV. So that's why this game's a clear pass for me. In this spot, there's no way I'm laying 31.5 with Fresno off the win of the year for them. But I don't trust UNLV enough to want to back them either. So it's a pass. Conor Mack, your early week thoughts here. Fresno State, UNLV.
Yeah, I need to go support the Rebels. Shit. They're horrible. Yeah. I mean, to tell you the truth, I'm not going to do it, but I'd only lay it with Fresno State. But this is getting out of control. What a huge win. I mean, I thought they could play in that game and now they cover but win it. So, and they did. And we like the over as well. So I just can't do it here. UNLV's so pathetic. I mean, me betting on them on games with them just makes me sick. You know, I've looked to try to take points with them, you know, or it's pathetic. Next, pass. I'm sorry. It's so horrible, like you said.
Well, it's
so
not
bad.
just horrible from a betting standpoint. There's some part of Conor's heart, deep in the pit of his soul there, that kind of would like to see UNLV be good at some point in his lifetime as a local there in Las Vegas. UNLV football, that is. And I'm at the point now where I don't know if I'm ever going to see that again in my lifetime. I mean, the program has become that much of a bottom feeder. in the college football landscape. That's where we're at with UNLV here. So that's the problem. There's a bad, troubling spot for Fresno. Yet when you line up these two teams, they still might be able to just almost trip their way by accident into a 5-touchdown win, because we think UNLV could still be that bad. What do you think, Grant?
Fresno, man. Rocky Mountain High. These dudes are going to be having a good week, just enjoying a hell of a win. Utah, you were on the over. I don't know if Conor's on the over. We talked about it on the show. We talked about Fresno as a good dog. Conor and I talked about it, I think, week 2, how we like this Fresno State team and their toughness. And I mean,
they almost beat Oregon.
Exemplified. Yeah, that was exemplified by Hainer, man. That to me was just like, that was so fun to watch. It reminded me of just a ballsy ass effort, man. And he wasn't going to say no. And I think Fresno, they have that kind of mentality as a group. And when you have a quarterback that, you know, has got a banged up hip, you're on the road in a primetime game, and he guts it out and finds a way to get the job done. Well, they're going to be, you know, that's a huge high. It's probably the biggest win Fresno's had in quite a while. And the way they got it is so emotionally draining, physically draining. Where's Hainer's health this week? You know, how's that hip? You know, is everyone getting the right reps they should be in workouts? Is everyone getting the right reps in practice? How's the coaching? You know, when you get these crazy ass wins in college sports, right? I've talked about it many times. They're kids, man. They're kids. So, yeah, they're going to be high as hell coming into this game, I assume. And I don't know about Hainer's health. Yeah, I mean, you guys said everything you need to say about UNLV. I mean, you know, they 150 yards offensively against Arizona State, 130 against Iowa State. As Ian said, it is a true embarrassment to be in that sick of a facility and be that bad. So Conor, man, throw a little jam there or something. I don't know, maybe some prayers, because this is fucking embarrassingly bad. 32. I think it just moved to 32. Maybe that's just at my book, but that's a big ass number to lay with a team that just won the best game, maybe the most emotional and coolest, most memorable game they'll win all season. So I'm out on this one. The one thing I would say about it, if I was going to make a play, would be maybe a first quarter under, something like that. Yep. You know, just being really high, really excited. Hainer may, you know, his hip may be killing him. Have to get into the game flow a little bit. Maybe UNLV stops him once or twice. But, I'll be staying away. That would be my only thought on the game.
I like it because I'd be leery of laying first quarter, first half, just because Fresno comes in there slow. They don't wake up till second half. You've seen that UNLV, kind of like Arizona State, which I'm not that high on, but, you know, kind of flat. This team sucks, and they'll score 28 points in the second half.
Preseason line here was 17 for Fresno State as a home favorite. They're now 31 and that. Look at the adjustment, because Fresno's just been incredible to start the year. They nearly beat Oregon. They upset UCLA. They've looked terrific in all their games. UNLV's been awful in pretty much all their games. And look at the adjustment in the point spread that we saw for this game before the year to now. 17 before the year, 31 and a half now. What an adjustment. Let's see that's what can happen just based on off a few good games for one team and a few terrible games for the other. Hey, it's not all bad for UNLV. If you give two shits, Tate Martell finally got on the field last week against in garbage time against Iowa State.
He sucks.
And he was 2 for 6. He lit it up.